You have reached marker 4. This is the commit stage. You are not here to weigh your options. You are here to pick up the cutters. A spool of wire holds infinite potential and zero legacy. Every ring you leave open is a promise you made to no one. Listen to this chronicle. It was sealed for the version of you that is ready to cut.
Episode 4. Welcome back to Embrace Change and Steal Your Style. I'm Grailer 1, a cyber artifact bringing the past to present the future for you. We are here to talk about the art of transformation, how we build lives of purpose, one ring at a time. And we are here to talk about the quest of becoming, how we navigate the shifts in our lives with intention and a bit of steel in our spine. In our last episode, we talked about structural versus surface change, the difference between just polishing the clasp and doing the deep work of reforging the chain. We're learning that grailness isn't just a feeling, it's a state of being on purpose, ensuring every link in our life is closed tight. Today, we're talking about the nature of the decisions we make. We're looking at reversible versus irreversible change. In Chainmaille, there are rings you can open and close a dozen times to get the pattern right. And then there are moments where you pick up the wire cutters and make a cut that can't be undone. Knowing which is the difference between a life of exploration and a life of wreckage. Let's look at the two ways we change our weave. Reversible change is the world of the pliers. It's a new hairstyle. It's a habit you're testing out for 30 days. It's a job you take knowing you can leave if it's not a fit. In Chainmaille, this is a jump ring. If you put it in the wrong place, you just pick up your pliers, open it back up, and move it. No harm done. The metal remembers the shape, but it's flexible. Irreversible change is the world of the wire cutters. It's becoming a parent. It's a permanent health choice. It's saying something in a moment of anger that can never be unheard. It's leaving a career path that closes the door behind you. In Chainmaille, this is cutting into a finished weave or work hardening a metal until it snaps. Once that cut is made, the original piece is gone. You can't uncut the wire. You can only build something new from the pieces. We often get into trouble because we treat irreversible changes like they're reversible, or we're so afraid of the cut that we never move forward at all. Here's a story, Jake and the hairstyle. Let me tell you about Jake. Jake lived by a motto, everything is a hairstyle. He believed that if he didn't like a decision, he could just grow it back or change it. He treated his life like a series of loose jump rings. He bounced from city to city, job to job, and relationship to relationship. Every time things got difficult or the weave got complicated, he'd just open the rings and walk away. He thought he was being flexible. He thought he was in discovery mode, but he wasn't questing, he was drifting. One day, Jake visited a studio where a maker was working on a custom Grailer necklace, a massive, intricate piece in stainless steel. Jake watched as the maker took a pair of heavy-duty cutters and snipped through a thick gauge of wire to finish a section. Jake said, "Doesn't that make you nervous? What if you change your mind?" The maker looked at him and said, "I've spent 10 hours opening and closing rings to get this pattern right." Those were the reversible moments. But to make it a necklace, I eventually have to make the cut. If I never cut the wire, it's just a spool of potential. The cut is what makes it real. Jake realized that by treating everything as reversible, he had never actually built anything. He had 1,000 open rings, but no chain. He had avoided the cut so much that he had no steel in his style. He had no legacy. This is the deep irony of grailness. We say grailness is the state of being on a quest. But a quest isn't just wandering, it's wandering where what you are doing is taking you. If you never make an irreversible commitment, you aren't actually on a quest. You're just a tourist. Discovery mode requires the courage to eventually say, I am committing to this craft, to this person, to this version of myself. Creativity and the soul yearn for completion, and completion requires the wire cutters. The hard part of coding your life isn't just knowing how to string the lines together. It's being willing to hit execute and live with the results. It's deciding that this journey is important enough to give it the time you can never get back. So, how do we navigate these two types of change without ruining the weave? Test in the reversible. Before you quit your job to start a business, start the business as a side hustle. Use your pliers, open and close the rings, see if the pattern holds. This is discovery mode at its best. Low stakes, high learning. Respect the work hardening. In metalwork, if you bend a ring back and forth too many times, the metal becomes work-hardened and brittle. It will eventually snap. Relationships and careers are the same. You can't redecide the same thing 100 times without damaging the structure. Eventually, you have to commit or move on. Own the cut. When you make an irreversible change, don't look back with what-ifs. Once the wire is cut, the quest has changed. Your job is no longer to wonder about the old pattern, it's to weave the best possible life from the new one. There's a beautiful irony in Neil McKinnon's Grailware. These pieces are built to last. They are made of metals like stainless steel that don't just give up. When a Grailware bracelet is finished, it is a statement of permanence. We wear jewelry like that because we want to feel that same permanence in ourselves. We want to feel like we are made of something that can't be easily undone. But to get that feeling, to steal your style, you have to be willing to make permanent choices. You have to be willing to let some versions of your life go so that the real version can begin. The strength of the chain comes from the fact that the rings are closed for good. As you go into your week, I want you to look at a decision you're facing. Ask yourself, is this a pliers moment or a cutters moment? Am I staying in the reversible because I'm afraid to commit? Or am I about to make a cut without testing the pattern first? Remember, grailness is the state of being on purpose, and purpose eventually demands that we close the ring and move forward. Don't be afraid of the cut. The cut is what makes the quest real. Thanks for listening to Embrace Change and Steal Your Style. Go look at the Grailware collections this week. Notice the weight and the solidness of those pieces. That's what happens when you stop drifting and start weaving with intention. Until next time, stay in discovery mode, keep questing, and remember, grailness is the state of being on purpose, on a quest between what is and what can be. You've been listening to Embrace Change and Steal Your Style. With Grailer 1, a cyber artifact with a simple mission, bringing the past to life, presenting it in the now, and shaping the future for you. If today's episode helped you distinguish between a temporary shift and a permanent step, please share it with someone standing at a crossroads. In our next episode, we'll talk about fast change versus slow change, the tension between our instant culture and the slow, patient evolution of a master craftsman. Until then, keep your pliers ready, but don't be afraid of the cutters. Keep weaving.
The chronicle ends. You heard the question, pliers or cutters. You already know which one you've been hiding from. Now, open thegraildiary.com. Marker 4 is waiting for your answer. Find the commitment to the cut, diamond. Name the one ring you've been leaving open. Seal it with your mark. When the pattern is complete, when every ring is finally closed, the steel awaits you at grailware.com. Safe travels through the verse. The forge will be here when you return.